Hello, everyone.
What's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for your third episode and talking about media and youth during times of COVID and all that stuff, man. And I just wanted to personally congratulate you. I just did the numbers. You had over 1,000 independent views in your last show, and we didn't have much marketing or things like that. So that's big for the young bull, the youngest CEO and executive producer doing it. Real quick before we bring in your guests, man, how does that feel for you?
Honestly, that's awesome. I appreciate everyone taking their time out their day to watch this podcast, see what the youth are like talking about, see what we're stirring up, you know, what we're conversating about with Dr. Charles Cole. I really do appreciate that, and I really want to spread this thing far and wide. So, yeah.
That's what's up, man. Well, why don't you introduce your boy, man, so we can bring him in?
Yeah, so we had him on last time, Elijah Jenkins, aspiring actor, Emory High School alumni, man. You know what it is, yeah. So today we're just gonna be talking about the media and how it portrays Black people and how it affects our youth, um, and during COVID-19. So the first question really is, Elijah, do you think that the media is fair to Black people?
Um, the media as a whole likes to definitely portray Black people in a specific way, but I think it's the users of social media, like people like our age, that kind of puts this image on us and kind of makes it hard for us to facilitate through those type of platforms.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like to a certain extent we put ourselves in the position where to a certain extent, of course, there's corporations and people in power that would prefer for us to stay in positions of ignorant and have ignorant images in the media. But I feel we go on Instagram, we go on Facebook or whatever, YouTube, we see rappers doing some crazy stuff, and what that does is gets and grabs attention, and so with attention comes money, and so corporations look at record labels or whatever, they look at that and they're like, oh, this makes money, so they like that, they want that essentially.
Yeah, I think I would say as of lately, but it's kind of been like a reoccurring theme. But a lot of the time, it's a lot of the same consistent posts that get the most attention. That just so happens to have Black people involved in it. That kind of.
Can I ask y'all a question real quick? So,
Yeah.
So even when we was talking about these questions, right? Like when I think of media, I'm thinking of everything. I'm thinking of social media. I'm thinking of traditional media and movies, or what? Not movies, but CNN or whatever the case is. So, Elijah, what are you talking about right now? Are you talking about more social media, or are you talking about media that's produced by companies and corporations? Just so we can have that conversation. Like, I'm curious.
I'm talking about everything. A lot of positive things like Black artists and stuff doesn't get as much attention as the more ignorant stuff in the media. Like as a whole, like everything.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they'll definitely show. They'll definitely show on the local news, for example. They'll show a robbery or carjacking any day before they show a positive Black man or woman or revolutionary doing something new, or holding a rally or giving a protest or whatever. That's how I feel like, and that's how I've always looked at it as on traditional news outlets and local news specifically, and on broader news networks also. I feel like there are terrible generalizations made about everyone, but for Blacks, the generalizations that are made are hurtful to us.
Do you think people that don't work in the media also play a role in it, like people like us?
Yeah. I feel like it, well, not in terms of traditional media, but in terms of social media, like I feel like we do because we're giving the like we're giving pure attention to certain people who are doing um things that are not like reputable for us, basically. Like again, for multiple rappers, I can't name any off the top of my head. I think Kodak's a good example, or like just any who do like really like dumb things. You know what I mean? Like we give them that attention, which is also taking away attention from like people like rappers who are like musicians or artists who really deserve that attention. Therefore, like the corporations see that attention that they get, and then they incentivize that essentially. So yeah, I feel like we definitely play a part, but really in traditional media, ever since like the 50s, 40s, it's always been on the news and on like in the newspapers. It's always been it's always been turmoil and really just been uh messed up images of black males and black women too, but really black males in traditional media.
I got a question. I mean, I guess what I'm thinking of is, that's making me want to ask you all a few things, right? One, like this is a form of media that we're doing now. So I think that there also needs to be more conversations with young black folks around what does it mean to own your own products, to own your own media, so you can control what those portrayals are. I mean, this is owned by us. Like this entire show is built by you, Jayden. You pick the guests, you write the questions, like you pick the way that we're portrayed. So I think that there needs to be more conversations in our community about what it means to own our stuff and own our own work. I think the other thing is that I want to ask you all, how do you feel we're portrayed in the media? Like when you like how do you think the media tries to define us as young black men? And this is for both of you. I mean, both of you can jump in. I'm just really curious.
Definitely, for what I see, criminals, angry, pissed off, lost. There's a lot of like different synonyms I could describe what they typically like portray young black males as in the media. Yeah, and they just like they call us thugs. Like it's what I starting to notice now that I'm getting older. Like in a lot of traditional media and news outlets, it's called dog whistling. It's like basically calling you the N-word without even saying that. Like the term the thugs, like that's basically dog whistling. They only use well, most of the time they only use thugs to refer to black people. For example, during the protest, I've heard that term in like years, like back in like the Ferguson riots. The last time I heard thugs, right? And it's called dog whistling when like people in the media or like just in regular conversation says something without exactly saying something. And so I just don't feel like it's fair. And that's why I'm happy for social media, because it gives us, we get to choose the media that we follow. And like people are allowed to choose outlets like this, like in podcasts like this and platforms like this, which is just like revolutionary. It's like it's better than just, that traditional formal, dog whistling and really just racism. Yeah.
What about you, E? What you think, man?
I agree with Jayden to a certain degree, but I also feel like it don't make it no better that we got people of not higher power, but like we have people that are in the limelight that are supposed to be representing us, yet they've maintained this sort of I'm not sure what to call it, but it's not a great image.
Yeah.
But
yeah, talk it out. It's all good. We good. It's just three friends having a conversation. Don't worry about the people watching.
I guess we could kind of, I don't know. I could use Kanye or Kodak as like a reference, because we have people like that a lot of people our age kind of look at because of what it is they post and what it is they're doing with their lives on social media, and that kind of gives people the idea that it's like that anywhere else. Because a lot of people like that like to say they've stayed the same even with the wealth that they've developed or gained, acquired, or whatever. But a lot of the time, that's not the case, and that definitely takes a toll on what people think about us, and it makes it worse even when you go out and meet people, because it's like, I'm speaking for myself because we Black, but I'm sure a lot of the time when you have discussions with people, you may not think it, but in the back of your mind, it may be there that people have already made up their mind about who you are and what it is you do. So that messes up a lot of things for us.
First off, I just gotta show love and give a shout out to Elijah's hair. The boy's hair is beautiful today, y'all. When you think that your little baby nappy fro is doing okay, and then you see somebody that's really out here popping in these streets. So one, I wanted to say that. You know what I'm saying? The boy moisturizes. Two, I think. I mean, look, now we're kind of veering into celebrity culture, but forget it. Let's go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's have that talk, right? Because celebrities tend to be very, very good at their craft or at something that they do. So Kanye West is a musical genius. He is an immaculate musical genius. Kanye West is not somebody that I would go to for political advice, though, right? And I think that the difference between media that you get to experience from when you were a little kid to, when I was younger, right? And I'm not that much older than you, but let's even go back further. But right now is the first kind of generation where all your business is out there, where everything that's happening, people can see. So y'all know who FDR is?
Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Do you know what happened to him while he was president?
I'm not sure, no.
So he was sick and he had to be in a wheelchair. But there was a conversation that the president's office had with the media at the time. And they said, look, we need to our president needs to be seen as strong. So what they would do is they would turn off the cameras. They would turn everything off while he was rolling up and stuff like that. And then they would stand him up and then they would turn the cameras on so he can give his talk, right? Like, that was the relationship where they were working together, right? You wasn't getting behind the scenes stuff about Franklin Delano Roosevelt or what was going on with him and his wife. You wasn't like seeing those things. There was a level, I think, of decorum before, and I'm not putting a judgment on it. I'm not saying one is better or worse, right? But I just I feel bad for people like a Kanye West. I feel bad you mentioned Kodak, and I don't spend a lot of time worrying about like celebrities' personal lives, right? But if you give Kodak Black, who is who he is, and then you give him an apparatus to put all his business out there all the time, and he has this pressure from young fans to keep it real and to be honest and show you his real life. I'm not surprised at the statements that Kodak makes, because I grew up around hood dudes. Like, he is a new aged hood dude, and if you lead them to their devices, right, they're gonna like say and do, what they mean to do, right? So, I just think that like, I'm listening to y'all and I'm learning, but I also want to separate the two between what's real life and what's kind of manufactured. I think social media has good benefits, but I also think that it will destroy your mental health. It will destroy your self-confidence if everything you think about this, Elijah and Jayden. Think about every argument you've had. Think about every mistake you made. Think about every wild text you might have sent. Think about a situation when you was dating somebody and you wasn't your best self at that moment. Now think about millions of people being able to see it and comment on it. Like, what kind of life, like, you know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being defined by every mistake that you make? But I just want to know, maybe that's my own anxiety around social media. Like, it makes me not want to get be as out there. And I know that people love the type of content I build, right? I try to build the stuff you talk about, Jayden, where it shows us in a positive light. It shows us doing work. But I also got a personal life. I also have things in my life that's not perfect. That's far from perfect. There's actually nothing in my life is perfect, right? You know, and I would, if every part of my being and struggle was on social media, that would drive me crazy. And I'm not surprised that so many people are struggling with like mental health. So when you ask me the question, do I think media is fair to Black people? Y'all, it took an interesting turn because y'all went to social media. We produce social media. That's not other people. That's what we post and we push send on. So I don't even know if that question is you know, are we fair to Black people if that's the case? Like, are we fair to ourselves? I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. I just wanted us to have this conversation because I'm really interested in what y'all thinking. Elijah, you're doing fine, bro. I saw your message. You're like, I think you went, I'm going where y'all go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a good conversation, but y'all just jump in. What do you feel about what I just said? Am I bugging? Am I tripping? Like, do you need to hear more about the olden days of what media used to look like? I mean, let me know.
Nah, I feel like you make sense. But yeah, like I agree with the fact that we are not fair to ourselves a lot on social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like I just feel like the traditional media as of now is really not like fair. Even like 24/7 news, like Fox News and CNN, they're really like propaganda based, honestly, and they're really and they have clear agendas, right? And I really don't like that. But I don't think those outlets are necessarily fair to Black people, yet alone any minority. And local news, I still feel like they're unfair in most instances. But like I feel like the conversation of social media is relevant because like how are we gonna be unfair to ourselves in this generation? That says a lot. You know, that says a lot about our conditioning and like how we perceive ourselves. The fact that we're being unfair to ourselves in this generation, in which we can choose and we have all these options, yet we still want to stick with glorifying basically ignorance. That says a lot about our conditioning and and like the environment some of us come from, honestly.
Yeah.
Elijah, would you jumping back in? Go ahead, brother. My bad.
I was just listening. I do see where you're coming from. I didn't even consider that part, like whether or not I'm being fair to myself or any of us are being fair. I never considered that.
Well, we got a guest. A guest just asked us. This is my brother Ray Ankrum. He does the A Black Hands podcast with me and is super supportive of y'all. But he wanted us to elaborate. So we just said fair. So what is it that we want to see happen? Like what do you know, maybe that's a good question, right? Around like what would make you feel like it was fair or it was something positive. So, you know, what I mean, that's a tough question, man. Like what is fair? Like Elijah, what do you want to see? How do you want to see us portrayed? How do you want to see us portraying ourselves?
Just consistently in a positive light rather than, I mean, I can't change how the world is. Whatever goes on in the world is going to be on these media outlets. But like, just to see somebody that looks like me, in a positive light, like consistently rather than, you know, every other month.
Got you. And what Ray followed up and said is that crime happens. It probably shouldn't be sensationalized, but don't y'all want to know what's happening? So that's a good question. And we should just invite him on the show in a second. But I think that's a good question because I think he can ask it even better than what he wrote. But, you know, Jayden, I'll ask you as the leader of this, as somebody who helped co-create this show and produces this type of show. What do you think about Ray's question? Right? Like,
all right. So I agree. Yeah. They should definitely report crime. I agree. But the fact that So I was on the news on like I was on KPIX 5 a few months ago, in March, I'm pretty sure. And my mom told me something that stick with me, right? What she told me is basically the only time you see like a black teen on the news, like, 17, 16, 17, 18 years old, is either when, there's a crime that was committed or it's basketball. And so I was like, like she really congratulated me for like getting to that spot and connecting with different organizations that got me to that spot. And so I agree. Yeah, they should report the crime, but I feel like they should also shed more and more light into the foundations from which the people who commit the crime come from, if you know what I mean, and show like the success stories, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of how I feel towards it. The fact that the good is the minority. I know there's other things to cover, but I still feel like essentially they should cover like, the Elijahs. They should cover like they should cover the Rachels. They should cover more people in our community, just regular people, like just really, really like go look at other people from this foundation in which the criminals are coming from, if you know what I mean. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, but I would say though, y'all live in an age where y'all got YouTube, man. Like when I was a kid, like 7, 8, bro, it was like 4 or 5 channels in the night. There wasn't a CNN, and everybody didn't have cable, and so you watch like your local news and your local story. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you had to kind of take that, but y'all got YouTube. You can go find positive stuff. We've created at Energy Converters. We've created over 100 pieces of content, from articles, from reports to videos to like you can binge. If you binge watched all the stuff that we do at A Black Hands, at Energy Converters, what I've done with you, like you will be busy for days nonstop without stopping, right? Like, so it's out there. Yes. It's just, but there's another thing that I think, and Elijah, feel free to jump in too. Like, it's not a panel. Y'all can just jump in. We just having a conversation, but it's like, what do people want to watch, right? Like, there's a saying in news that if it bleeds, it leads. Like these news stations are trying to stay alive and make revenue. Like, listen, man, there was a time when the newspaper was the most formidable type of media ever, and now those things are just struggling to like survive, right? So, when I was a kid, I used to collect The Source and XXL. Do y'all know what The Source and XXL is?
I know what The Source is, not the XXL.
Do you know what The Source and XXL is?
I've heard of The Source, but XXL.
So, oh man, see, this is what I'm saying, right? So the sort, like before Twitter, before Instagram, before rappers had Instagram and could put all their business out there and all that stuff, right? There was this thing called The Source, people call it the hip hop Bible, right? That was his nickname. But all the news that was happening in hip hop, you had to get The Source. So every month I would go get it, and then XXL came after that, and they had this big war, right? But now, again, rappers are their own magazine. Elijah's his own magazine. Jayden's his own magazine. But I guess that draws us to the next question that you put up, Jay, is what media outlets do you follow? And can y'all be like a little bit more specific if you're talking about social media or traditional media? Just because I think when we talk about traditional media, I tend to think more CNN, corporations, people that own that stuff. And when I think social media, I think more of self-produced, kind of put out there by us. So, who do y'all follow and why? And then I'll share mine too. I'll be honest. Like, and this is the other thing. Y'all can push me too. You can ask questions like with things you don't know. Because I'm going to ask you when I don't understand something. When y'all say something I don't understand, I'll be like, I don't know what you talking about, bro. What are you saying? So, but Elijah, what media outlets you following, man?
Yeah, so I definitely don't follow any like news outlets or anything outside of like Instagram. Like, I don't follow anything outside of Instagram or Twitter. So I guess that's where I fall short. But as far as my Instagram, I follow Complex. For the simple fact that most of their posts keep me drawn in, and they have like a large variety of like topics that they discuss, and like even things outside of like celebrities and cars and stuff like that. I also follow, what is it? I guess a lot of the things I follow are what my people, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only one I keep up with is like Complex. I don't follow the Shade Room or anything like that.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I appreciate the Shade Room, but I don't follow the Shade Room. It's not good for my spirit.
It's not.
It's just not for me. Maybe it is for some other people. And you can talk about it, not just the platform, Elijah. You can also talk about people in that platform that you might want to follow. But Jayden, what about you? Who are some media outlets that you follow?
Honestly, I keep up with local news on like social media, and I watch it on TV sometimes, when I'm at the dinner table. I sometimes, sometimes turn it to TMZ when something like really crazy happens, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't follow them on Instagram now; they be spamming. But I'll follow sometimes I also turn it to like CNN. It really depends on what is going on in the world, like for me to turn like CNN on, or me to turn like Fox News or something like that on.
Mm-hmm.
But on Instagram, like really, I just follow. I follow the Shade Room. I follow Complex. I follow DJ Academics. Just a bunch of like rap pages. I follow like NBA pages. Things I'm just interested in.
What's a page you follow that doesn't necessarily keep you tuned in with like what you like, or not even what you like, but just like as far as world problems or things that you
that doesn't like? Honestly, yeah, DJ Academics is like it's a bunch of like Instagram drama mostly. There's like some rap news, but essentially like it's a lot of like just rappers beefing with each other and talking about each other. And like sometimes that's cool, but at a certain point it's like it's not entertaining though. It gets kind of old, if you know what I mean. So like it's in essentially what these things can become is like distractions. I don't let these outlets become like just straight up distractions, and to the point where I'm super obsessed with this rapper and what's going on. Like I just see what happens. I'll look into it a little bit and I move on. Basically, I follow Now This News. It's a lot of politics in that. Like it's kind of like an unbiased source.
Now This did a story on my parents. I'll share it with you at some point. Yeah, it went like super viral. It was when they graduated from college. Yeah,
that's dope.
And Now This covered it. Yeah, I mean, but here go to push though, right? Here's why I push you, because we started off saying that these corporations make us look bad. These corporations portray us in a certain type of way, but everybody y'all just named is social media folks, right? That self-produce. And y'all there's a bunch of positive social media things that teach us about our history, that teach us about who we are, that talk about news, right? But that ain't the shit that y'all went to. Y'all went to like what's popping to you, right? You went like DJ Academics. And listen, I love Ack. I respect that young man, right? I know I'm familiar with Ack. You know what I'm saying? I think that like, but this is how Ack got big. Ack got big, and for y'all that don't know, DJ Academics is basically like a one-man media company that highlights a lot of things in this generation's music scene, right? So there's other folks, a Charlemagne the God tends to, Joe Budden, Charlemagne, they're more my generation or whatnot, but they all work together. They all know each other. It's a small world, but he tends to highlight the drama. It tends to get more, when Meek Mill and him get into it or they got something to say. But, the story of how Ack got big was he was covering Chicago. He was covering the Chirac stuff from a basement in New York, right? And like making a bunch of comments on street stuff. And it kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. And I think now he's grown. But he's a self-made dude. You know what I'm saying? I think that if there's a lesson to be taken from him, it's like you can build your own stuff and kind of work at it. But I think he learned very quickly the same way these corporations learn is what sells. Does it sell when you talk about Logic's album that just came out, which is kind of popular, like not popular, but like very positive type rap, kind of focus on like these things, or does it sell when you do, Nicki Minaj verse, Cardi B for every other post? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, so if we gonna hold those corporations to a standard, right? What kind of standard do we want to hold to ourselves? You got some good comments in here, real quick. I want to just make sure. Ray sent out a challenge, said follow one positive energy source just for yourself. And then Gilly just called out Joe Budden for not owning his own show. So I think a very important conversation is happening. And for the people listening, because the best shows is when we kind of forget that people listening and we just talk. But I want people to be able to follow us. We started this conversation about media and the perceptions of Black people. And now we're having a conversation that we don't have enough in schools that y'all just came from, that I didn't graduate from. I left my senior year, but that we all went to the same high school. I bet you never had a class that talked to you about owning your own image or owning your own stuff. So I think that is good that we ended up in this place. We didn't try to get here, but this is where we are. Thinking about ownership. So Jayden, you own what you produce. You know how to produce stuff. Elijah, you want to act. You want to you talked about it last time. And it's funny because after the show is when you talked about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, I wish you would have said that. I wish you would have said that in the show. So can you just talk a little bit about what you're trying to do as far as acting and scripts and all that stuff? And then I think we got some questions for you, E, because I want to support you. And I think you're an incredible young man. And I think it falls right into what we're talking about media and media portrayals of black folks. So what are you into, bruh?
Okay. I was kind of going to ask Jayden the same question, but I guess I'll go.
We asking you, B.
You
want to know you.
Oh, and I don't mean to be talking. It's kind of like how I have such a big opinion on what, or not even a big opinion, but like kind of, I don't mean to disregard anything that anybody's doing that's a celebrity.
Nah, you didn't do that at all.
I'm trying to be an actor. But so as far as what I want to do with like my social, I guess, life is I want to be able to tell stories that people don't typically talk about. And I could say like, oh, I want to talk about, how I grew up and stuff like that. But like, yeah, some stories may not be like that, but a lot of those type of stories are being told. And I feel like that's kind of what I shy away from, and I do best when I'm thinking outside of the box. So really, that's what I want to do. And me having the experience I have with acting, it's fun to step away from your daily life and kind of take on stories or take on a character. I think that's pretty dope. What I hope to do with it, what I hope to do soon with my social media is just be true to myself and look to improve and grow as a person, as an artist, and just keep looking to support who I came up with, which is my community, people like Jayden, young Black artists. I want to be able to promote stuff like that, showcase things like that. Because at the end of the day, we all hustling to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now more than anything, it's important for us to stay in a working headspace where we're just looking to keep getting better with things. And that's what I think about more. As far as lately, what I think I've been doing with my social media is I definitely haven't been fair to myself because I've been holding myself back from a lot of the things I've been doing. Like even when we were talking on here, you said I didn't talk about it on the show. I held myself back then because I could have said something that not touched somebody, but could have grabbed somebody's attention, and then it could have became another discussion. Then I could have been on the ball about something. So I held myself back from that. And yeah, I haven't been fair to myself. Yeah.
I mean, what you think about what he just said, man?
I feel like it's definitely like nerves when you come on and you know a lot of people watch you. Like I feel you, but yeah, don't be afraid to just speak your mind, man. Because I'm gonna speak my mind, man, and I feel like that makes for the best content when it's authentic and when it's real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of the time, I feel like how I am outside of because I'm still young. Like I still have a like an outside life outside of like work. But I've like tried to maintain an image on social media because you always want to like bring in followers, you always want to bring in stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like as I got older, it's like nobody like really cares about that. Like what are you really doing?
Yeah.
Like you just post it up outside your house. It's like a lot of that stuff doesn't really touch too many people. And I feel like that's kind of what held me back from speaking my mind, because I got so far doing that, and I was like, I kind of fell short of or I lost sight of what it is I'm really trying to do. And I recently like archived all my posts actually because I'm looking for a fresh start.
So I just wanted to take some time to recognize, because y'all answered this without even knowing you was answering it, and it's like, what is social media communication doing? Like, what is it doing to you during this pandemic? And I think when you just spoke right around holding yourself back and not speaking or whatnot, and for me, the question is, why is that, right? Why does this young man feel like he can't be himself, especially because you do a whole bunch of positive stuff? I think that social media puts a lot of pressure on y'all, and I think that this pandemic adds on to that. And then also the pressure of everything happening with Black Lives Matter. It's a lot of things happening at once right now, but I just want y'all to be very, very clear, right? Social media is not real life. It is curated. We want to show our best selves. Like I will never want to come on here when I am just completely messed up. I would never want everything ain't everybody's business. Like there's this whole thing that like people don't have a right to your personal life and your personal business. You can give them what you want, but they don't have a right to it. You see what I'm saying? So like you are a young man. What are you, 18, 19 years old, right? Like, bro, you are about to make a lot of mistakes in life. That's called living. An OG of mine, I'm in this book club with, and we was just talking, and we was talking about a lot of things or whatever. And he said, look, man, you can't enroll in a class called wisdom. You can't read a book called wisdom. The only way to get wisdom is to live life, right? And living means that you're going to make mistakes, you're going to learn, or whatever the case is. So I need you and you, Jayden, and me, right, to a degree, to go a little easier on yourself and allow yourself to be human. Bro, you're going to go through bad relationships. You're going to go through jobs that don't work out. You're going to, especially if you're trying to be like a performer, like an artist, like you just said, like somebody that creates stuff, you're going to hear way more no's than you're going to hear yes. You know what I mean? And I just wanted to like lift that up a little bit, because social media is building up stuff in all of us at this moment, where it's like, it's not allowing us to be real people. People keep letting Kanye West push play on a camera in front of him when he needs to like get some help. You know what I'm saying? Like he is hurting. There's things that's going on, and he's misinformed. So you got misinformation, hurting yourself, and in the middle of you have this genius, this musical genius, like somewhat of a musical savant that people like follow blindly. And they extend that love outside of the musical sphere, right? That's a really dangerous and toxic like combination that frankly makes me worry about him. Like that's the concoction that you end up with, like a fentanyl type overdose, like that you end up dying from. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm just saying that to you, not because I don't think you on that level or like, y'all about to be suicidal or me, right? But there's a lot of pressure that we have. Here's another pressure that I want to make sure I want to release y'all from right now. Jayden and Elijah, I want to release you from this right now, because y'all are Black young men doing really good things. People start to now hold you up, and it's like, yo, I want my kid to be like you. I want this to happen. Like Jayden did a talk for us in front of 3,000 people. Like, Jayden has his own show. He's also doing Hidden Genius. Like, and there's all this positive like attention that he's getting, but don't fall into the trap that you can't be a human being that's gonna make mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to fail in front of these people. You don't owe them that, like when something kind of goes that way in your life. And I really just want to say that as somebody who feels that pressure as well. I say it all the time. I don't want to be somebody's role model. Like Jayden he would tell you, like, yo, hey man, I look up to you. Hey, nah, you don't need to look up to me. Like this one thing I do, you don't know what I do in the other parts of my life, right? And I'm just very clear on that for y'all though, because nobody's having those conversations with you the same way nobody's having those conversations about ownership. Like, nobody is helping you protect your mental health. So social media is a tool. It's not good or bad, but however you use it, you can use it to build or you can use it to destroy. So I just wanted to say that, and hopefully you received that, Elijah. I wanted to speak life into you, bro, because you're going to have to fail a lot to get to what you want, to be really good at what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that you need to like go easy on yourself, hit your goals, like set your goal, bro. Jayden has asked me this, so I'm gonna just tell you what I do, man. I have a vision. I write out all my goals. I set a timeline for when I want to do it. And then I backwards map from the thing I want. So Elijah, this is what the exercise would be for you. Think about your best life 10 years from now. Think about if you want to be married. Think about the type of job you want. Think about the type of money you want to be making. And then I want you to like backwards map, right? Like, okay, so if I want to be that in 10 years, what does that mean I have to be doing in 5 years? Okay, cool. Well, what do I have to be doing in 2 years? What do I need to be doing in 1 year, right? And then you do that stuff all the way down to like, so next week I need to start doing boom, boom, boom. So if you're an actor, that might mean you need to start putting some of your acting reels on your social media. That means that you need to start creating. That means you need to hook up with Jayden or hit me up and be like, hey, Charles, how do I kind of get my own thing like this so I can like talk to other people that's in that field? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody teaches us in our school system how to make actual life goals and carry them out. I didn't mean to take up too much space, Jayden. I just wanted to, part of this platform is us having a conversation like we would if we were just at Emory with a basketball chilling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like, the benefit of your show, Jayden, is that people get an inside look into the conversation of three young Black men without like us super structuring it or trying to play up for the camera. I don't care about what people think about the conversation, right? I'm caring about what I'm hearing you say and a flag that I might see, you know, because I've experienced that same flag, bro. I've had that same type of depression. I've had that same type of pressure, you know, and I don't want that for you. You talented. Now you just don't. Social media, if it ain't helping you, dog, you can always delete that thing off your phone. We had somebody that said that they disagree. So let's see what he said. He said he disagrees with me about role models. If we don't do it, the guys in the streets will. I agree. Let me clarify what my statement was. I didn't say that role models aren't important and that we shouldn't be role models. I'm saying that we have to learn how to compartmentalize. Because I might put a ball in a hole well, doesn't mean that you need to like take my thoughts on North Korea as seriously. We're in celebrity culture where you just heard these two young men say the people I listen to are DJ Academics. I look at certain rappers and we went to Kodak Black, right? Like, there's a culture of people. There's a culture of young women that love Meg Thee Stallion, and they should, because she's dope. She works hard. She's entrepreneurial. And I don't know if I want to, like, that's in the music hustling scene, right? But I'm not going to go to her and ask her how to build a house. That's just not what she does. It's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just have to diversify. So I didn't want to be misunderstood in that. But Jayden, go ahead and take us where you need to take us, man, because I didn't mean to preach, Elijah, bro. I just wanted to, but this is what
I appreciate it, though.
In a moment, though. This is what love and care looks like. And people don't get to see Black men, especially. They don't get to see Black men, especially, display love in front of people. And they don't think that young Black men like yourselves are even capable of it. So we're going to break that stereotype right now. We love you, bro. And we got you. Go ahead, Jay.
For sure. Like, honestly, I completely agree with you, man. We definitely do idolize full characters, and For the most part, we should just stick to taking the best parts from this person around us, or the best parts, if you know what I mean. I completely agree with you about the fact that the school system doesn't, doesn't get to, the networking, or the like handling the mental health or set or goal setting like it should. I completely agree with you on that. But yeah, so Elijah, I just want to ask you, like, how do you feel about the way social media is during this quarantine? Honestly, like how do you feel? Do you feel like it's been worse since the quarantine started? Like, how has that affected you? Honestly,
Affecting me.
Yeah, like, has social media been like different since the quarantine started? Because I know people are definitely using it more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah. I feel like social media is doing its job as far as keeping people informed, and I think people are more aware of what it is. As far as how I've taken it, I mean, I said, what I plan to do with it.
Mhm.
Where I hope to go with it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same case for anyone else. I feel like everybody's just trying to be honest about what it is they're doing. I mean, obviously not everything. I don't mean everything, but as far as like work and the good aspects of life, that stuff is starting to be a lot
Yeah.
highlighted a lot more.
Yeah. For me, honestly, like during the quarantine, there's been so much stuff, and like I really love this platform because I can just like talk, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, sometimes like on my social media, I do say like curse words or whatever, right? So like on my like story, or whatever, when I post and I have an opinion or something, I just like completely just like just speak my mind. And I started to do that more and more as the quarantine like started, because I'm not allowed to speak. I can't speak my mind to anybody else, but the people who are in my house. So like, I just like, yeah, I just feel like it's definitely changed the way I approach. This quarantine definitely changed the way I approach like these outlets. For example, like like this the way I'm talking now will be probably totally different from the way I'll be talking on this platform like 4 or 5 months ago. Honestly, and the way
How
I
do
just
you plan to? How do you plan to rep? I didn't mean to cut you off. How do
like
you how do you plan to represent yourself going forward now that we've kind of talked about it?
honestly, is I just want to like keep real, like just
Yeah,
put my on things. I just want to continue like um just really staying true to myself. Sometimes so here's another thing like I'll be conflicted with. Sometimes like I'll be hesitant to just post like, these things that I'm doing, if you know what I mean. Cause I don't know how that will be received, or like I'll be a little bit like, for example, like I guess you could say insecure, like skeptical about what uh my friends think about that or whatever. On social media or whatever. So I just try to like my strategy now on social media, like what I do is just keep it real myself. Just post really what I'm passionate about. Not every single thing that I think I can say that out loud to myself, but I'm gonna post things that I'm passionate about, and I actually like feel like, oh yeah, so by the way, I think this when you look on my story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like essentially like I remember when I was first like on the news, and I was first, and when I first did um that talk in front of a few thousand people like a year ago. I remember like being like actually hesitant to post on social media because it kind of changed perception of who I am, like, and like because like before, like I was in energy verters, before I was in like the hidden genius program, my reputation at Emory was the dude who's tall and play basketball. Like, you know, they call me KD, you know, like, so it's like I was hesitant to like change that, like, you know, like
Yeah.
I guess that's what I was doing by posting on social media. So
how you feel now?
You definitely got a good reaction from posting that video, because I actually posted it myself. It's still on my IGTV.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
For sure.
We should probably repost that too, just at some point. I mean, it's a really good talk, and we got to get Aaron on here too, who did the talk with you. I mean, here's the promise that I'm gonna make y'all. First off, regardless of what you do, how well you do, how what struggles you have or whatnot, I love you. I will be there. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that people right now get to feel unconditional love, and they feel like everything is conditional, right? We seeing everybody get canceled for 10, some they said 10 years ago, some that they said in their privacy of their own home, some that they did, right? And I think that that's dangerous because it doesn't allow people to grow and to change, right? Like, why should I change if you just gonna keep bringing up the shit that I did before anyway? So yeah. I'm telling you that it ain't nothing that somebody can walk up to me and say about Elijah or Jayden, right? Where I judge you or I think differently about you because you get to be human. Two, I think, you know, when I just want to make sure, because I know we ain't got that much time left, but Elijah, tell me if there's something that you need that might be holding you back so you can kind of live and do the stuff you need. Like, is it a camera that you need? Is it, I mean, what's missing from you going out and starting to realize and recognize your goal, aside from a plan, aside from you writing down your vision and what you want to be? I just want to know so we can, like, Jayden has a platform that can actually support you. So tell me what you need, and we just about to make this happen. We're going to move out all the excuses so you can go rock and be who you want to become.
Surely.
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah, like now.
I don't know. There's definitely a lot of stuff to consider. I definitely know what it is I need. I think I just need to apply more pressure myself, and then.
What does that mean, though?
Apply more pressure myself, meaning what I can do.
How can we support you?
Well, a lot of the stuff I need to get done, I can definitely like get started on it on my own. But I need your support with maybe a film I'm writing soon. The film I was telling y'all about. I recently just came up with this kind of like a short doc that I want to do. I could use some help with that. Maybe y'all could reach out to some people I could talk to out on the street and just have a conversation with them.
I have a friend that makes documentaries. It's a different type of media that you create, but I can connect you with her. Yeah. If you give me, how close are you done to being done with this script?
It's done. I got my notes.
Okay, cool. So what's the next step?
The film, I'm like on my third draft, but the doc, I have my notes and stuff. That's done.
Dope. So tell me what the next steps are, and then we'll just keep checking back on you. And I know Jayden likes to have you on, so we got you or whatnot. Jayden, is there something that you want to do, whether it's in media or something else, like that's kind of holding you back? I mean, I'll step in front of a bullet for you, bro. So like, what do you need right now? Like, here's the thing. The reason I do all this shit and the reason why it's called energy converters is because it was a lot of negative energy around me. Like a lot. Like I seen my friends were dying, bro. Like I went to hella schools. Like, you know what I'm saying? Emory is just very different now than what it was when I went there, right? So I created something so we could take that energy and build something positive out of it. And Jayden, you've just been a shining example of that. So tell me what is something that you need so we can convert some energy and make sure you got the support, because I'm trying to give y'all something that I never felt as a young person. I never felt unconditional love. I never felt that people was just gonna be there for me regardless, right? And it's just a lot of people in my life at the time weren't able to, right? You know, I never felt that I had the space to just be creative and like that I had a safety net if I failed, right? So what I'm trying to do in these conversations and listening to y'all is learn from you, but two, also make sure that I tell you all the things that y'all need. Like, you know, I want y'all to know that y'all are supported. Regardless of what the media tries to make you look like, regardless of whether it's social media, regardless of what the latest like reality TV show is saying about black men or whatever, right? Like, I know you two and I know me. So, you know, and hopefully that's making sense, man. But so Jay, what do you need from the community and the community will provide, bruh?
Honestly, like this year is like what I've been what I feel like I needed all quarantine, honestly. Just again, just a platform to just like come on, invite people and just like, you know, talk it out. Just like, you know, and then have a bunch of people in the comments who are like saying a lot of thought-provoking things for us. Like this is basically like what I want. Along with this, I'm still like creating my own company, still launching my own company called iBlinko. What we do is offer social media management for small businesses. I'm still doing that, and I developed that through the Hidden Genius Project, who trains and mentors Black male youth in technology creation, entrepreneurship.
Jayden, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's a good cutoff for you.
Yeah.
So is iBlinko up and ready? Can iBlinko take on a client right now?
Yes.
Send me the details, and if everything checks out, I will write you a separate contract from me for you to do my social media management.
No, all right.
So if you don't get that to me ASAP, and we come back and we check in, and Elijah like, yo, how that contract going? I'm telling y'all now, it'll be because Jayden didn't do what he needs to do. I will write that contract ASAP if that's the case. And where can people go find this stuff? Where can people like learn? It's a lot of folks that need social media management.
Yeah, so honestly, just Google the letter I, then the word blink, and then the letter CO, and then you'll see the website. You'll see a lot of information. It'll like list exactly how the processes work, and basically the entire story around that, and where that's gotten me specifically, and other people and other small businesses. So you know, I'm sorry to do some self-advertising, but if y'all are
why? It's all, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm saying, yo. Like, again, we talked about role models and all that stuff, bro. What are you, 16, 17 years old? How old are you now?
17.
17 years old, bro. Like, you 17, dog, talking about you have a TV show. You are a star in Hidden Genius. You are a leader in Energy Converters. Like, you give talks in front of thousands of people. Like, you have invented a company. Like, it's like, y'all talk about role models. Y'all the role model. Listen, man, I'd rather watch either one of your social medias than I would like Kodak, right? And I like Kodak. I wish him well. I hope his mind is okay when he gets out of jail. People want somebody just said, can you put the link in the chat? Like, be ready with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But y'all are the role models. I don't have a problem with being a role model or y'all being role models. I want to make sure people don't misconstrue that. What I'm saying is that when you become this role model, these people don't own you. You still need to own yourself. I'm telling you, it's easy to get lost in this stuff, but we had time. I'll just close my part and I'll let y'all, you know, Jayden, you just take it over. But I just want to close my part out by saying love isn't love isn't just a word, it's an action. Like you know, hopefully these actions around lifting you up, Elijah, and being there for you like this, Jayden, hopefully you see it and receive it as a form and act of love that a lot of our young people are missing. And that's from the social media spot, from the media conversation. That's not love. Them people can't love you. You know what I'm saying? Their job is to make money off of you, and the best way is to exploit you. And I don't have a problem with media. I just want us to own more of it. So with that being said, y'all have given me so much wisdom and knowledge today. And I'm grateful, and God has blessed me to be able to sit in and be a part of this type of conversation with young men like y'all. So Elijah and then Jayden, why don't you close us out?
Yeah, Elijah.
Oh, like I said before, I'm just grateful that you have this show. You're even capable of bringing me on, and I'm looking forward to see what you do going forward. I'm gonna apply a lot of this stuff that we talked about in the conversation to my life, and there will definitely be changes, good changes.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to thank both of you guys for coming on again. Again, this is what I needed, like, just something like, to talk through, some chill. But yeah, yeah, I just want to thank everyone in the comments, honestly, like, for joining and watching and actually, like, caring about what young people think, and like, and seeing the trajectory of like what the next generation is headed. Because I feel like there are a lot of people in this generation, like me, like Aaron, like Elijah, like Rachel. There are a lot of people like that adults don't see, if you know what I mean. But yeah, essentially, like, for everyone talking about the iBlinko social media management services, how do I like?
I'll put it in for you.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure to contact me. But yeah, yeah, just great conversation. Like, it's good to see what you doing, Elijah. Like, a full movie, like, that's actually dope. Like, a script, a documentary, that's pretty dope. Yeah, I hope that the energy converters can help you as much as possible with that. I'm definitely, like, I got your back, like, the whole way. Trust me. But yeah, again, like, Charles, thank you for, like, since you don't like the term role model, I'll say for having qualities that I can take away from, honestly. And but yeah, that's, like, just thank you everybody for coming and doing, like, for another.
Well, again, I want to just shout you out again, bro. You had your last show had 1,000 views with we didn't put no money behind it. We didn't do no marketing around it. It was just people like this in the comments that commented, that liked it, and that shared it. So if y'all can do that, if everybody that's on here can please share it, and when you share it with a message. People respond more, or they'll watch it if you put like a personal message in it. If you want to continue to support Jayden, if you want to continue to support Elijah, please do that. Elijah, we're going to be checking in with you on that piece. If you need me to buy something, if you need me to support, whatever. I'm looking at your prices right now. We can definitely get something rocking, bro. Jayden, I got you. And this is great, man. I continue to do great things, continue to live your life, continue to learn. And again, Elijah, we talked about your hair, which is bomb, right? We didn't talk about the backdrop. Like, look at the backdrop of Bruce Lee and Dame, right? Right? Like, for somebody that say that they don't have a show, right, or a studio or whatever, brother, you ready out here, brother. And like Bruce Lee say, let's leave him with the Bruce Lee quote: "Be like water." Say bye to the people, Jayden, and I'll close us out.
All right, y'all. Tune in next week at 12, same time. We have a few more podcasts left to do. Friday, a week from now at 12 noon. So please tune in then again, please. We're gonna have I want to have new guests, reoccurring people also, and just another chill, dope ass conversation like this. So yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all later.